how to create a Bedwars map in Fortnite Creative. If this tutorial helps, please like, comment for what tutorials you want next, and subscribe for future videos. First up, selecting the island and then also building the base. I would recommend using the Kevin floating island because this will allow you to freely build in the sky without having to fly up every time. When you first load in, go around to all the already there Kevin floating islands and delete them all. Next up, go to content, then galleries, and search for the grey cliff grass gallery. Open it and then grab the small little flat piece of grass. Then resize it to as big as you can and place it down wherever you want in your map. I would recommend placing this nearer to an edge 4 times because this will be for the 4 bases. Copy it across a few times. You have a decently big sized piece of terrain for your bases to sit on. Once you're happy on how big your platform is, go back to the galleries, but this time search for the indestructible gallery. Open it and grab this wall. Or if you don't want to use this wall, just use any other wall you want. But if you're using the indestructible gallery, also grab this floor. This is what your base is going to be made out of, so build a little base out of it. I would recommend doing 5 across, 4 up for your big bottom area, and then 1 layer up of stairs, and then out again, and then this should be your base. But if this is too small for you, just make it bigger. Next up, all the game mechanics and powers you can buy. For getting the materials, you will need an item placer, item spawner, item granter, and a bunch of triggers. So first up, place down an item placer, and then copy these settings. Allow interact off, show rarity effects off, play audio off, can be damaged at game start no, item health 10,000. Then place a bunch of triggers around it and also copy these settings for all of them. Visible in game off, triggered by damage on, trigger VFX and SFX off, and then receive damage when invisible, take damage. Then also in events, put on triggered, send event to item granter, grant item. Copy this for all your triggers and then cover your item placer with them. Next up, place down an item granter anywhere and copy these settings. On grant action, keep all, grant all items, ownership of dropped item, all. Then in this item granter, put the amount of wood you want players to get when they pickaxe this big piece of wood. Next up, the settings for your item spawner. These are the settings for the wood that will be continuously dropped under your item placer. Copy these settings. Base visible during game off, time before first spawn 5 seconds, time between spawns 7 seconds, continuously spawn items on. Then drop the amount of wood you want to get continuously dropped, mine is just 7. Then copy this 2 or 3 more times with metal, brick, and even gold if you want that as well, but obviously change the item in the item placer, granter, and item spawner. Next up, the vending machines and the vaults. For the vending machines, you can just place a bunch of vending machines along a wall and then go to all options and copy these settings. First item resource type, whatever you want. Cost of first item, whatever you want, but you should put model to screen only. Then just do this for a bunch of stuff. I've put ammo, green weapons down, blue, purple, and then gold weapons down, making them cost gold as well. So just do this for as much as you want, but obviously don't make the items too cheap or your map will just be a bit overpowered. Now once you've done all of this, you can start making your vault. For your vault, you'll need the conditional button, a prop manipulator, and then also the 2 vault pieces from the shark prop gallery. Grab the one that is already locked vault and then an open vault door. Once you've got these, go back out and then place the vault door closed and the open one right on top of each other so you can not see the closed one while you're just looking from the front. Nothing sticking out from the sides or in the front. Then place a prop manipulator on the front closed door and then just put no settings on it. And then in the closed one, place also a prop manipulator attached to that, but put start hidden to on in that. Then in your conditional button, you can just put whatever you want to unlock it. If you're using the one like in the actual Bedwars map, use the llama jewel. In all options, you can just put hologram only if you want for visible during game, or you can just set it to the normal yes. You don't need any other settings. But then in events, you do need on activated, send event to the prop manipulator that's attached to the open vault door to show props, and then the prop manipulator attached to the one to the closed vault door to hide props. And that's how you make the vault. Then inside the vault, just build a little section like this. Then you can place more vending machines inside it with maybe a little better loot than what you have out here. Next up, the powers players can buy for their base or for themselves. For this, because I'm in Creative 1.0 and I can't make any custom buttons, I'm just going to use the conditional button again, and then drop the amount of gold you want in it for it to cost. Then go to all options and put activating team for the team that the base is. Mine's team 1. Interact text, whatever the power is. Mine's infinite ammo. Then missing items text, the same as the interact text. And visible during game, hologram only. Then go anywhere in your map and place a class selector and a class designer. In the class selector settings, put class to switch to. It doesn't matter. There's 16 ones, so you can make 16 different powers using this. Mine's just class 1. Then restore health and shields on switch off. Volume visible during game off. Visible during game off. Activation and zone audio off. And then display VFX effect on activation off. Then in the class designer, go to all options and put class identifier, the same as your class selector, and then whatever setting you want for a power. My one here is just infinite ammo, but there's a lot of options to choose from. You can put infinite mats, infinite consumables, instant reload. You could do glider redeploy on. You could do max health to like 500 or shield to 200. But if you are doing one of those ones where it improves your health or your shield, I would put in the class selector to restore health and shields on switch, because then that would just make them not have to use all the heals to get up to it. Then go back to your conditional button and put in events, put on activated, send event to the class selector, change player to class. And it should automatically reset so other players can buy it. But if you can't, just go to functions and put reset when receiving from the conditional button that it is on activated. Then just copy this process a bunch of times for how much powers you want, using different classes every time in the class selector and class designers. Now finally, making the actual bed. For this, go to content, then devices, and search for the object device gallery. Place that down and then delete everything in it except for the bed and the 3 shields, because if you want extra shields, you can pick out of these 3 which one you want to use. I'm going to choose to use the square shield, so I'm just going to delete the other 2. Then once I've done this, I'm going to grab both the shield and the bed and then bring them to me. Once I've got the bed, I'm going to go to all options and then copy these settings. Health, whatever you want, but I'm putting mine to 2000. Then also owning team, whatever team is for this bed. Obviously it will change to all 4 teams when you do this for every base. And then show an objective HUD on. Objective identifier, I just do the same number as the team it's for. Show destroy messages on. Critical notification threshold 10%. And then warning notification threshold 75%. Now for the respawning to be disabled once the bed has been destroyed, go to your player spawners and copy these settings. Player team, obviously for the team it'll change for all 4 teams, and then users island start off and visible in game off. Then go in functions and put disable when receiving from your bed on destroyed. I've just named it bed so it's easy to add. But yeah, that's how you make it disable when you destroy the bed. Now place your bed shield on top of your bed, and then the settings for this is health, whatever you want. I'm just putting mine to 1000 so it's a little less than the bed. Then owning team, same as the bed. Objective identifier, same as the team. Then critical notification threshold 10%, and warning notification threshold 75% as well. And that is how you make the beds and making players not be able to respawn after destroying the beds. Now for the rest of the islands, obviously copy your whole complete base and then paste it 3 more times for all other bases. Then with more terrain pieces, you can make a little center place and also have an item spawner there, spawning the jewel to open the vault after 2 minutes or 3 minutes, whatever you want, so players can all eventually open their vaults. And just other, little terrain pieces like the actual map. But make sure from a reasonable amount down from your main map, place a damage volume device so when players fall, they die and just don't get stuck down the bottom. Go to all options and put zone width max, which is 100th, same with the depth, and then put damage type to elimination. This should create a big enough zone so that when players fall, they will be immediately killed and can go and respawn back up at their base. And now, last but not least, the island settings for the map. First up, time of day, 4 PM, time limit, none, voice chat, whatever you want, but I'm going to do team. Last standing ends game, on. After last spawn, go to spectating. HUD info type, objectives. Building can destroy environment, no. Environment damage, playable only. Glider redeploy, off. Full damage, on. Max shields, 100 shields. Starting shield percentage, 0%. Health granted on elimination, 50. And then eliminated players' items drop.